Alright guys, here's the items you'll actually use to make your silicone mold. You're first going to want to go get some of this silicone. I like to use the clear. Just make sure it's 100% silicone, okay? There's a bunch of different ones out there. Just make sure you get the one that's 100% silicone, and I get the one that's clear. You're going to need a gawking gun to actually pour your silicone out. Some aluminum foil. Some Vaseline petroleum jelly. This is actually to put on our actual helmet, which I'll be using to actually, so the silicone won't stick to it. So it helps as a release. I'm gonna use a razor blade, box cutter, actual glue gun with some glue sticks. I got this at the discount dollar store. Wooden skewers. Actually use this to actually mix silicone up in the cups. Some pipettes or eyedroppers, either or. I like to use these. I get these at my local hydro store. Some acrylic paint, 2 different colors. I got these on sale, that's why I got the big bottles. Don't need that much, just get 2 different colors. Some quilting pins. I'll show you what these are for later. You're gonna need a 1 tablespoon measuring, and I'll show you what we're gonna use this for later, but make sure it's a 1 tablespoon. You're gonna need some liquid glycerin. Liquid glycerin, in case you guys are wondering what it is, laxative. You can find these at a Walgreens or CVS, stuff like that. And when you open it, it actually has 4 of these little containers in there. Some gloves. I like to use the 100% vinyl, not latex. Easier to work with, so get yourself some vinyl gloves. A couple of these cotton, I guess, little circles. I guess women use these for makeup, removing makeup, stuff like that. Get yourself a couple of these. Definitely gonna need a respirator. We're gonna be working with fiberglass, so you need to have a respirator, a good respirator. Protect your lungs. And like I said, you don't have pipettes, eyedroppers, it'll work. Something to get into that glycerin. But wooden dowel. I got this at Michael's. It was 1 inch by 36 inch long, but it's been cut down, and it was to get these. And I'll show you guys later how I actually got these, but it's to actually get these. You can either go with the wooden dowel and cut them yourself, or you believe you could buy these at Michael's, something similar to this already cut, but for the price, just get the stick and cut them yourself if you have the tools. Disposable cups. I like to use these little Dixie cups, little small cups, and that's where we're going to be mixing the stuff I'll show you to make your silicone to put on your actual master mold. Some bolts and nuts with rubber washers. I got about 8 of them. You may not need that many, but I'll show you. This is for our actual mother shell. Some fiberglass resin, and this is to, like I said, make our mother shell and to coat our little wooden dowels or wooden register keys. So some fiberglass cloth. This is what it'll look like when you buy it at like AutoZone or anything like that. And I actually have some from previous projects where it's cut up into little pieces already, and I just save them in a Ziploc bag. You're going to need some water with soap, soapy water. I'll show you what this is for later. And also some modeling clay. I like to get the oven baked dry only, or the one that bakes or gets hard when the oven, because I don't want it to get hard on me. I'm gonna keep using it, so either or, whatever color, doesn't matter. Just I'll show you when I use this on my actual helmet. And you're gonna want some paper towels. I like to use the shop towels. They're heavy duty. And a rag. It will get messy, so you do want to clean up, so get yourself a nice little rag. Okay guys, this is what we're actually gonna be molding. It's my Magneto First Class helmet. I've already sealed it up with hot glue and cardboard on here. See, I got all the edges, the bottom and stuff. It's all cardboard and hot glue. What I'm gonna do next is get some of that modeling clay and get in here and get it like nice and smooth to make sure nothing goes inside the actual helmet. Helmet's already padded, it's wearable, it's actual fiberglass on the inside. It actually started as Pepakura, is what this was, Pepakura, some fiberglass Bondo. Nice little metallic black paint job, nice little gray, and this is what we're gonna be actually molding today, so I could be able to make some future casts here. But now I'm gonna go around here with some modeling clay and make sure it's nice and sealed up everywhere before we actually start doing the silicone mold on it. Okay guys, right here what we're gonna want to do is clean up the helmet. I got an old cotton t-shirt, cut up one of the sleeves and stuff like that and use it just to kind of clean the actual helmet. As you guys can see, I actually already cleaned up the edges here, put some of this modeling clay on there to actually get me nice clean edges and to keep the silicone from getting in between the cardboard and stuff like that. So went in there with my nice little tool and got the nice little clean lines where the silicone could go in and get all that edge. So let's get the helmet nice and clean, and we're prepping and getting it ready to add our coat of petroleum jelly or Vaseline to help to keep the silicone from sticking to the actual helmet. Now we're gonna get our petroleum jelly or Vaseline, start rubbing it into our helmet or whatever mold you're using, and start spreading it out and make sure we're covering every area of the helmet. And this is to help or prevent the silicone from sticking to our actual piece here, or it's easier to actually take off once we're done. So let me go ahead and get the whole area covered, and then we'll come back and go to the next step for you guys to show you what it looks like once it's all covered. Okay, I'm done. I just finished coating the helmet, and you can see it's a little glossy because of the Vaseline, but like I said, try your best, get a nice little even coat all over on the sides, on the cardboard. You can get all the cardboard here. Like I said, it'll help when taking off the silicone once you've placed it on there. Okay, now what we're going to do is going to use one of our disposable cups here. We're going to actually now measure out 2 tablespoons of water, which makes 1 ounce. One-ounce cup of water. What we're gonna do is put it up against a light or something. You'll be able to see a line, or if you can see the shadow there of my finger. Same thing with the water. You want to see where that actually mark is, and I'll show you what to do next. Now that we've actually measured out where our 1 ounce mark is, we're gonna go ahead and do the mixture that we need to do here. First, you're gonna grab your gawking gun here, press here, pull back. Take the top off of our 100% clear silicone. We're gonna actually open it up here. So gawking guns should have this here, where you could just insert it. There it is, it's open. Stick it in our gun, and it should be ready. Now we're going to start doing our actual mixtures, and I'll show you step by step of how all this works. Okay, so I'll go ahead and grab myself a little cup here. Pour in my 1 ounce, where remember we marked earlier. Once you got your 1 ounce in there, Okay guys, as you can see, I've actually already started putting on my first layers of silicone here. I'm gonna show you what the mixture looks like, how you do it, and then how I lay it on the actual helmet a little bit, and then from there you just a repetitive process. Here's what the first layer looks like. There's all the cups we used, about 2.5, almost 3 sticks of silicone. Now what we're gonna do is actually let this dry, and then we're gonna go with our second coat, and we're gonna use a different color acrylic so we know where we've actually put silicone at and where we are still missing some. It's gonna have pretty good weight on it now because it has all that silicone gawking on it. You can see it's completely covered. Remember, you want to have maybe 1/8 inch thickness. For those that don't know what 1/8 is, just grab a quarter, and the thickness of a quarter, that's how much the first layer or each layer of silicone should be. So we're gonna go ahead, let this dry, and then we'll go ahead and go with our next layer. Okay, here's what the second layer should start looking like. Remember to keep that 1/8 inch thickness, and just keep applying till you have the whole helmet or your master mold, whatever you're molding, covered up with your second layer. I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like after it's all been covered. Okay, second layer is now coated. I actually started on the third layer already, which is the top here, the blue. It's my third layer up there that has dried. What I actually added here was a cheesecloth. And the reason I put cheesecloth here is to reinforce where I'm gonna make a cut. I'm gonna make a kind of a Y cut here. And this is to help me when it comes to demolding or separating it from whenever I cast my helmets. But this is my third layer on top already. And this is half of this, or more than half of this, is already dried silicone. So that's why I started on my third layer. And this is going to go over the whole helmet. So I'll show you, it should be all blue, completely blue at the end of this. That'll be my third layer, and then I'll think about maybe doing a fourth layer, but I think I might just be good or fine with 3 layers. Okay, final layer of silicone has been put on. I only put 3 layers on. The first one's a real thin one, that's the detail layer. Then I put the second one, which was the red color acrylic paint that we used, and this is the third layer, which is blue, and it's already dry. What I did is I went ahead and drew a center line with a Sharpie marker. What we're gonna do is we're gonna build a mohawk thing here, because we're gonna do a 2-piece mother shell on this.